that's little stuff. I really wasn't interested in that stuff because the episode was really about everyone. It was centered around Lexi, which is awesome because she's an awesome character. But it was really about everyone. And let's just get into it. So the episode starts out with Lexi at Rue's dad's memorial, or after the memorial, I guess, is when people kind of gather at someone's house. They're all wearing black, it's a fucking black hole, and they're I shouldn't laugh at that. Holy shit. Anyways, it's like a fucking black hole, and they're just all there to say, "Hey, I'm sorry for your loss." You know that shit. God, that shit is horrible. I hate stuff like that. But anyways, so she's in Rue's room, and I can tell like the way they made them look. I think they were like 13. They did a very, very good job at like subtly de-aging them, and I was feeling that. But anyway, so we get a really good scene between Lexi and Rue when they were younger, and we kind of get to see not how Rue started taking drugs. I think the implication was that she had been taking drugs for a while. Lexi just didn't know how bad it was. But the thing that hit me pretty hard is the drugs that she was taking, she got from her dad. Or not got from her dad as if he gave them to her, but they were her dad's drugs, which is, if you think about it, that's super fucking sad, dude. But anyways, so, oh, dude, fuck you, end this sound. Come on now, I'm on stream. Don't do this. Don't do this to me right now. Do this after, all right? Distract me after. Anyways, so she reads this poem to Rue, who we got to see a little bit of how smart Rue was, but it was subtle. She just kind of mouths off this poem, or a part of this poem, and it was really like the first time, at least that I've been watching this, that I got like a little hint that there's more to Rue than just complete fucking druggy. Like she is kind of intelligent. I know she told that teacher lady that she had like a 3.7 GPA, but like, let's be honest, shows always do this where they have like a character that you want us to like, or they want us to like, and they always hint towards them being intelligent but never show it, like, ever. Like, I'm having that problem with the reboot of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. All of a sudden Will Smith is like a straight A student or some shit. Like, fuck out of here. Anyways, but we get a good idea of how smart Rue is. A nice subtle thing in there that I really liked. And I think the poem that she reads, if I'm not mistaken, it's something about a bell tower. I'm gonna have to kind of look that up a little later. But anyways, there's this sad scene after Lexi reads Rue the poem where like Rue passes out. And I'm assuming it's in the middle of her reading the poem. I don't know how fucking long this poem is, but Rue had just taken drugs, so maybe it's not that long. Maybe it's the drugs. Work pretty fast. She did sniff it. But there's this sad scene where Lexi like takes the drugs out of Rue's pockets and just kind of leaves. And then there's like a flash to the title screen, and I thought it was pretty cool. We get a nice scene or kind of montage of Lexi and Fez, or Flexi as I think people are calling him. I don't know why, but anyways, why do we combine names still? That's fucking stupid. But what they're talking about, it's not that I had a problem with what they were talking about. I kind of had to like think twice about like the implications of what they were talking about, because in a nutshell, Lexi or Fez brings up the fact that, okay, well, you're making a play out of these people's lives and they don't know, they might feel some type of way about that. And like, I was confused that as smart as Lexi is, that's not something that she took into account beforehand. Like, she seemed genuinely concerned at that moment, as if it was the first time she was concerned of that possible problem, which, okay, the episode's so good, I don't give a fuck about that, but I just thought that was kind of weird. I just thought that was kind of strange. And by the way, shout out to Fez for using the word quandary correctly. Like, he just dropped it. So they're doing these things where like you're starting to like see other facets of these characters, but you really have to pay attention to how they speak. So yeah, shout out to Fez for using the word quandary correctly. We learned some things about Lexi that we kind of, well, not learn. We the things that we already knew get kind of cemented, if you will, when she does like flashes to Cassie getting puberty, and you can see that she's kind of jealous a little bit. Well, maybe not jealous, envious. Envious, that's the right word. She's a bit envious of Cassie because of just how she looks. She's a very, very beautiful young lady. She's a fucking whack job, and I'll get into that a little later. And I don't mean to diminish mental health in any way, but for the purposes of this show, I definitely am going to make jokes about how fucking crazy Cassie is. 'Cause she's fucking insane. And anyways, so after that, we get kind of that idea of what's going on between Cassie and Lexi, and where there's like this tension. Or not this tension. Lexi's just very envious, and you can kind of tell that her sister, the way she is, kind of annoys her a little bit. She is kind of sympathetic towards her, but you can tell she kind of, and you might feel the same way. I know I do. Cassie's kind of really fucking annoying, and I'll get back to that in a second. We flash to the backstage, or not flash, but I guess there's like a intermission, or they're just changing the set around, and we get like a good kind of flash to like Lexi in the backstage, and you get to see how she's running the show. Like, first of all, let's take into let's just think about the fact that Lexi's like 16, 17 years old. I think Rue's mom said that Rue's about to be 18, so I'm assuming they're around the same age. Lexi's putting on a full-fledged play with like sets, and it's fucking ridiculous. Like, I know there's this joke that Euphoria High School, as people like to call it, is like this fantastical place, but it's not a joke. It really is. Where else, the things that they do in this play is like, you would never be able to do this in real schools, like ever. And she's putting on this real play. She's putting it on with sets and everything, and these sets don't look cheap. The acting's awesome. Even even if it's a little meta, the acting of the actors in the show that they're acting in is pretty good. So, and they're acting as those people. So I just think that's really cool. And Lexi's definitely in her element backstage. Like, this is like what she's meant to do, and you can really see that she's coming out of her shell. Anyway, so we cut to Fez, who's kind of getting ready to go to the play. He has a suit on, or he's putting on a suit, and you can tell it's his first time wearing that. The girl that stays with him, I forget her name. I really like her as a character. I really, really do. I hope she sticks around long. I hope she doesn't just die at some random place. I mean, it feels like that's where this is going, but I really like her as a character. She doesn't say much, but I feel bad for her because, I mean, we don't know her story, but the way this actor portrays her, there's something about her that seems so innocent. And, I really have to applaud that actor, because it's really hard to garner sympathy playing a character that barely gets any screen time, really barely gets anything to actually do anything to say. But when she's, when they highlight her, she knocks it out of the park. But I can tell, like, Fez's friend is planning something, and it's very, very obvious, like the looks. And I like that the direction didn't try to hide that. The looks that he's giving this girl, the looks that he's giving Fez. He seems a bit nervous. He has his phone down. His phone isn't on, so we don't know what's going on. Like, I doubt it's bugged, because Fez is not like some big time drug dealer, so that wouldn't make any sense. At least I hope that's not the direction they're going in. But yeah, so I can tell he's up to something, but they don't give us time to like think on that, because they flash right back to the play. And there's this scene where it's Lexi in front of a mirror, and Cassie is near her, and she has these hopes that her breasts are gonna grow, and Cassie's like, nah, they're done. Like, that's what it is. That's what it is. That's what you got. That's what you got to work with. And I would feel bad in Lexi in that scene, but like, Maddie doesn't really have anything, right? Like not. I don't mean anything to disrespect her. I mean like her assets are not like out there, but she makes it work with what she has. So I can only feel so bad for Lexi, for her kind of being envious of her sister when her sister isn't even or wasn't even the leader in her own clique. There was this other girl who just oozed confidence, that didn't have half the things that her sister had, or the assets weren't as big as her sister's, and she still kind of pulled it off. So I can't really feel that bad for her in that aspect. Let's be honest, Cassie's hot, but she's like a crazy hot, and what I mean by that is there is something going on with her mentally, and we get a good idea of what that might be when they flash to a scene with their father, Lexi and Cassie's father, asleep in a park on a park bench because he's dad of the fucking year, I guess. Sorry, I didn't even mean to curse at that time. I just, I've seen people like that before. It really pisses me off. But you can tell Cassie has daddy issues, and they have manifested in the worst possible way in her. She really wants to be loved. She craves love, not attention exactly, or at least not attention from a bunch of people. She craves attention from one specific person that loves her. I would assume for her, I don't think she, and this is the destructive part about that, I don't think she cares if someone loves her for who she is internally. If someone loves her because who she is externally, that's perfectly fine with her. If someone loves her because of her body, it seems like that's perfectly fine for her. She's not able to distinguish, that kind of pure love for someone and their essence, if you will. I don't even know if that makes any sense, but that pure love for someone because of their essence, as opposed to loving them because of what they look like physically or the things that they can do for you. And because she's not able to distinguish the two, she'll take it any way she can get it. And that's really fucking sad, dude. That's incredibly sad. If you think about that, there's something depressing about someone who needs that, but doesn't know what the healthy version of that looks like. And that's Cassie. And I do feel bad for her, but also I'll get into it a little later. I kind of don't feel bad for her. A little bit. I don't feel bad for any of these characters, kind of. I do, but I don't. I'll elaborate a little later. But anyway, there's a flash to Rue, and it's uninteresting. Like, I don't like Rue. Like I understand that I should be sympathetic towards her because of her struggles, but she's such a shitty person that I kind of am just not. And this might change. This might change. Granted, the writers might, that the feeling that I feel about her might be what they want. And if that's the case, then they're doing a great job, because I just don't like Rue that much. And I feel bad for her. I can acknowledge that I feel bad for her. But I just kind of just don't like her. But that's beside the point. There's a flash back, or not a flash. I don't know what you would really call it. I don't know if it's present day or past. But there are flashes to like Nate and Cassie and kind of how they're moving along in their relationship. It looks really toxic. Like Nate will abuse her at some point, if he has not already. And if he doesn't abuse her, he's going to leave her and she's going to be absolutely devastated. Like, that's where she is in her life, or mentally. That's where she is mentally. She craves love from this particular person now. At first, I think just about anybody. Well, maybe not anybody. Anybody that she found attractive, I guess, or interesting. But she craves this love from this guy who clearly doesn't love her, but I think she's really good at fooling herself that there's a possibility that he can, or he does already. And she craves it so much that anything that happens where she doesn't get what she wants is going to destroy her, and that's really sad to think about. And you don't even have to think about it because it happens like towards the end, and it's not even as sad as you would think, but it does elicit a response that is terrifying. But I'll get to that when I get to that. Um, and also, let's keep in mind, unlike Rue, who, yes, she talks about possibly harming herself, which I don't think she is. I don't believe her. Unfortunately, she seems a bit too narcissistic, and you know, even in her sadness, self-assured. Like, she seems way too narcissistic to actually hurt herself. Cassie, on the other hand, yeah, she actually might hurt herself or someone. So, you know, if anything, she's the character that I'm starting to like feel the worst for at this point. So we get some other flashes. Rue introduces Lexi to drugs. That was a kind of a funny scene. Lexi doesn't like weed for the exact reason that Rue loves it, and that's hilarious. And we get a good flash. I guess this is present day. I can start calling it present day with Fez still getting dressed, and it seems like his friend is definitely up to something. There's definitely something going on, and the amount of tension that those scenes kind of elicit is incredible, because I don't exactly know what's happening, and no one does really, but it's clear that something is happening, something that we should keep an eye on, because the implications may be they may be dire. Like, I think Fez might die. I actually think I think he might die, or they might kill him, or someone close might die. Obviously, that wouldn't have the same effect, but it seems like they're setting something up where he might be very, very hurt or just flat out dead, and that's gonna, man, they can't do that to my man Fez. I'm not with that if they do that. But anyways, and by the way, Fez, like, he's getting dressed. He has flowers in his hand, man. And I was gonna cry for a sec. I'm like, dang, Fez brought her flowers. Like, yo, he really, really likes Lexi, man. And you know what? I'm feeling their relationship. It seems so organic. And if there was just a show about them, then I'd be with it. But anyway, there's another flash to Rue in present day, and like how her and Jules are kind of like, they see each other, but they're not acknowledging each other. And it's kind of sad, I'll say this one thing. I don't think Rue and Jules love each other like romantically, right? There's something different about their relationship, and I can't put my hand on it, but it doesn't seem like a romantic relationship, and I don't mean a traditional romantic relationship. I mean romance at all. It doesn't seem like they're into each other in like one of those ways that are kind of integral for relationships to kind of last or sustain, at least traditionally. I know there's a bunch of different kind of archetypes for relationships nowadays, and but I don't know much about them, so I can only speak on kind of what I'm familiar with. They definitely love each other. I don't doubt that, but it's something different, but it's still love. I'm sure about that. It's still love. There's another flash to Rue and her mom giving her this brutal talk, this brutal talk. Like, look, I'm done. You can do whatever you want. There's nothing I can do to save you. I'm more worried about your sister at this point, because I feel like, and I'm paraphrasing, but it seems like she's realizing, or has realized, that, if Rue wants to change, she's going to have to do that for herself. There's nothing she can do for her. But she has a sister who has not fallen off the wagon. And just yet, at least, as far as we know, she's not doing drugs. And it doesn't seem like she would do drugs, given, what she's seeing from Rue. But, I know a lot of people might judge her for that. And I do think Rue's mom is a pretty bad mom. And I don't exactly blame her. She did lose a husband. We don't know how that affected her, but for all intents and purposes, Rue's mom is a really bad mom. She's not a good mom. At least not handling this situation. You know, your daughter's been doing drugs for who knows how long. She's fallen off the wagon who knows how many times. And this is the first time that you're giving her this kind of tough love. At least that's what we're supposed to feel. I'm sure that's what we're supposed to feel with how, you know, this seemed to be like such a drastic thing, and the direction kind of hinted towards that. Like it hinted towards this is her first time doing something like this or saying something like this. So yeah, I think she's a bad mom. I think she's a bad mom. I don't think she's a bad person. I think she's a bad mom. I'll leave it at that. But anyway, there this scene that we get into with Maddie and Cassie. They set it up. They were great friends, great friends. And you know, after the fallout of the Nate situation, there's the scene where Cassie, she locks herself in a bathroom, and Maddie tells her to come out, and she doesn't come out. And Maddie has this really sad line where she's basically hinting towards the fact that Nate ruined her life, and now he's with her best friend. Which, dude, by the way, Nate is a piece of shit, fuck bag, emo, whatever. Nate fucking sucks, dude. Like, Nate is the kind of guy that like I couldn't have gone to that school. I would have whipped Nate's ass, dude. So shout out to Fez that he like fucked him up so thoroughly. But like I'm cursing a lot. Holy shit. But anyway, fuck it. I've cursed so many times I might as well keep cursing. Fuck Nate, dude. Nate is clearly evil. He clearly also has some daddy issues, as illustrated by some flashes that we see a little later on, which is funny. Well, not funny, but it's interesting. The fact that Nate and Cassie are very damaged human beings. And they're both damaged because of daddy issues. But the way that Nate has internalized his daddy issues is to be a fucking asshole. He's a fucking dick, dude. Fuck Nate. Fuck him. He's not a good person. He's not a good person. And Fez fucked him up thoroughly, and I enjoyed that. But anyway, Nate, by the way, Nate also has this like infatuation with Jules that I think have something to do with his daddy issues. That, or he might just, he might just like Jules in that way. And I think that's clear. I think it's clear that he has some sexual attraction towards Jules that he can't deal with right now. Or if he's dealing with it, he's doing it in the worst way possible. And shout out to Jules for destroying that blackmail tape, because that's not something that should be out there. Nate's dad definitely should be in jail, regardless of whether or not, he made an accident or it was an accident. He should definitely be in jail. Nate should be in jail. Fuck Nate. Okay, enough about Nate. So we flash back to real time, and Fez's little brother, dude, he's awesome. Like, granted, he's the scariest 13-year-old I think I've ever seen on screen. There's something about him that is way too about his business. Like, way too, why is this kid so threatening? Like just the way he looks, the stares he gives that friend when he sits on the couch. He has the knife tucked under his sleeve. Like, he's a scary kid, man. And I've seen The Omen, so I know a thing or two about scary kids. That and Children of the Corn. He outclasses all of them. He's scary, dude. So anyways, I say that a lot. Fuck it. There's this great football locker room scene, and a lot of people are gonna feel a certain way about it. They're gonna think it's homophobic. I don't think it's homophobic at all. I played football, And I've been in a lot of locker rooms, and I'll tell you what, that scene wasn't too far off from what you actually get to see. Like that scene wasn't really that far off from real locker rooms. It is. I mean, I hate to say it's kind of gay. Like the atmosphere is kind of gay. There's dudes slapping each other's on the ass. Like everyone's just walking around naked, talking to each other, like just dicks hanging, like nobody gives a fuck. Like it is kind of gay, man. Like and there's nothing wrong with that. It's funny when someone on the outside looking in like tells a person that's in the locker room, yo, that's kind of gay, bro. They get like really mad, but like if you think about it, it is pretty gay, dude, and it's whatever. That's girls get to jump into each other's beds to comfort each other in the middle of the night, from ages 8 to 67 or some shit. Guys get the locker room, we all get to express that side of ourselves in different ways. It's all good. Inclusivity, baby. But that locker room scene is great. That's just great dance number. It's awesome, man. And the thing that I love the most is Nate is just sitting there. He's just seething with anger. And the awesome thing about it is it's like, yo, bro, if the jockstrap fits, you gotta wear it, man. like you can tell this scene upsets him so much because like at this point everyone at the school knows who certain characters are based off of. So everyone's like looking at Nate like, yo, dude, this is what it's like. This is what it is, man. This is what you're into. That's what it's like in the locker room. And he can't take it. His anger just boils over and he just gets up and leaves. And obviously Cassie runs after him because this is a very sad, toxic fucking relationship, and of course she has to run after him. And he doesn't care. He breaks up with her like right then and there. Like, when you come to my house, get your shit and leave. And he just walks away. And what happens after that is the scariest look if they remake Carrie again, whoever plays Cassie should play Carrie, because the way her eyes looked when she's looking out into that auditorium, Jesus, dude, I was fucking scared. I was like, yo, she's about to kill somebody right now. Like, it looks like, yo, she's mad. Like, she's really, really, really angry. And I know I hinted towards the idea that she might hurt herself if Nate, ever broke up with her, because she's so invested in this relationship, because she needs to be loved. Like, that's her thing. She needs to be loved. I didn't imagine that the effect of him breaking up with her would be her having a psychotic breakdown and kind of targeting that anger in the direction of another person. I never thought that that's something that was possible, given how they've portrayed her thus far. She seems self-destructive. She doesn't seem destructive to others. Not like Rue. Rue's a fucking hurricane. Rue's destroying everything in her path, and she doesn't give a shit. Cassie, so far, the way they've portrayed her, she's just she won't hurt other people, but she'll definitely hurt herself, and she'll definitely make other people feel like she's gonna hurt herself. I guess that's her way of hurting them, but it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing that Rue does. So the episode ends with her looking like a complete fucking psycho. And bravo to that actress, because, I give the character a lot of shit, but that actress is amazing. She's really, really good. Like, really, 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 really good. Like, if I had to make a tier of the best actors in the actual show, she would be really, really high, because the way she portrays that character, the way she elicits certain feelings, at least within me, the way she's able to play a character that is more than the countless amounts of nudity scenes that they have to make her like be in. Like, she's acted her way past that, to the fact to where the nudity scenes, they don't even matter anymore, dude. You're more invested in her as a character than anything, or invested in what her as a character does than anything. You don't really care about the nude scenes. At least I don't anymore. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when the show first started, like, like I said, she's very attractive. So the nude scenes are like, awesome. But after, a certain amount of time, it's like, you know what? She's a great actress. And I kind of feel bad that she's in so many nude scenes. Because, at some point, you got to feel like that might take away from her art, or at least in the eyes of people who aren't really paying attention to how good of an actor she is, outside of those sex scenes, or scenes where she's just naked. But yeah, man, that was a great episode. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I think it was the best episode by far of the entire season, and probably the best episode of the entire show. It was amazing. I don't really have any other gripes. I guess if you take away the Rue scenes, that this episode is a 10 out of 10. But it's just a strong 9.5, which tells you how much I really give a shit about the Rue scenes. 0.5 is not a big deal. But yeah, it's a great episode. You guys should check it out. You probably have at this point. Just tell me how you feel about it. Like, tell me how you feel about the episode. Tell me how you feel about the things that I've said. If anything that I've said you disagree with, let me know. It's all good. We just talk. Follow me on YouTube. It's Larson Seal. Follow me on Twitter. It's Larson Seal with an extra L. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that. And follow me on Twitch. If you're not watching me on Twitch, it's also Larson Seal, just with an extra L.